invest $1,000. And so we're going to put that as an outflow, negative number. And for the bond, well, let's say that we know we're going to get a 10% return, so we can pretty easily handle that end node by putting in $1,100. So right now, of course, it's telling me that the bond is the optimal option because you have the word true there, and of course that makes sense because $100 is better than 0. Now, for the stock, it's going to be a little bit more interesting because the stock's going to depend on the market, right? And so we're going to have our economist or analyst or whoever determine the probabilities and the expected values for the stock. Now, to do that, we're going to have to add some nodes. So I'm going to select the end node for the stock, and I'm going to add 3 branches. Simple as that. And I'm going to go ahead and hide my header right now just so I can prevent having to scroll. So that's one of the options you have in settings. And I'm going to go to the format or to the sheet here, and I am going to hide the header rows. Okay, so now I have a full screen for the tree. And we have a decision node. Now, is this really a decision? No, it's going to be a probability-based node. So this needs to be a chance node. So I'm going to select it and choose chance right there. And now you'll see that our Boolean values turn into probabilities. So let's assume we're going to have either a good market, a fair market, or a bad market. And the economists tell us that the chance of a good market are going to be around 15%. And if that happens, our return on that $1,000 investment is going to be very good. We're going to get $1,400 back. Now the next one here is fair. We're going to assume that we have a 50%. Let's go ahead and make that 60% probability for a fair market. And in that case, we're going to get $1,150 back. And then, of course, we have this last option here. So we're going to put in 25% because we need these numbers to add up to 100%. SolutionTree does check that for us. I'll show you how to do that later on. But for right now, let's just manually assume that we're going to have 100% probabilities. In this case, if there is a bad market on our $1,000, we're only going to get $750 back. And so that's going to be, of course, a negative result. And so looking at this, we can see that the $1,100 is greater than the 1088, which means that the bond is the better option. So in a nutshell, that's what SolutionTree does. That's what a decision tree does, is it looks at all your probabilities and all your decisions that have been made, and it tells you what the optimal path here is. And so in this case, it's very simple. We have the word true, but let's say our economists come back the next day or a couple hours later and says, well, instead of this being 1150 for a fair market, it's going to be 1250. Now all of a sudden the stock is a better option because 1148 is greater than 100 and the expected monetary value is 148. So in a nutshell, that's a very simple decision tree. Will obviously get more and more complex as we progress. I'll see you in the next video.